Chris, thank you. Many of us remember exactly where we were when the first plane flew into the World Trade Center. And when the second hit, it was surreal, like a nightmare we couldn't wake up from. Our next guest was there. He was one of the first heroes, the first responders to arrive on the scene that day. And Chevalo Wilson DeBriano has graciously agreed to come on and talk with us about his experiences that day and how life has been since. Thank you very much for being here with us.
Yeah, thank you for never forgetting.
When this day rolls around on your calendar, how do you prepare for it?
Well, I prepare for it with self-reflection and really thinking of my guys, the guys that I lost, you know, really the true heroes. I mean, how do you get over losing close friends and 343 of your coworkers? It's something you just never get over.
And again, thank you so much for your service there on that day. Looking at some of these pictures that you've provided us, when you were pulling up to the scene, at what point did you say to yourself, this is bad, this is really bad?
Well, the truth is, when I pulled up to the scene, it was really a lot of smoke and just a lot of chaos. And I was in a big emergency room vehicle that had like several stretchers, and I was a paramedic for New York Fire Department. And so I was just inundated by firefighters who were hurt in the first tower collapse. So I was really getting that perspective, like, wow, something bad happened. But it's after I felt this massive rumble that I felt was underneath the vehicle. But the firefighters who survived the first tower collapse, they're the ones who told me, we got to get out of here. The second tower is collapsing. And so I had to like run out the vehicle. But I remember stopping for a second as I exited the vehicle and I looked up, because in Manhattan, the buildings are so high, and I could see the tower just twisting and coming down. So, and we parked right by the side of the tower that was up. And so I just followed the guys, and we had to run for our lives. Wow,
that is amazing. I was talking to your wife Monique, and she says there are still some parts of that day. You're so laser focused on your mission and what you were doing. She's like, there are some parts of the day you didn't know exist. Like, as you were there at Ground Zero, you didn't really necessarily know it had been a terrorist attack.
No, because when we first got the alarm, it was an explosion at the World Trade Center. So that's what I went to the vehicle to get set up and then start going to Manhattan. It wasn't clear that it was a plane crash. And even if it were a plane crash, in my mind, I was like, oh man, maybe a navigational error. It didn't click that it was a terrorist attack. I was just so focused on getting there to help my guys.
Well, let me ask you this. Had you known from the jump that it was a terrorist attack, would that have changed the way you felt about responding to it?
Not really. I think I would have, knowing it was a terrorist attack, I still wanted to get down there. No matter what, there was life lost and there were people injured. I just wanted to get there to help everyone. You know, how it was caused and everything, I figured I'd probably deal with that afterwards.
Now, we see a lot firefighters and first responders from that day who have taken away some health issues from being on the scene. Do you have any physical or emotional scars from that day?
Oh, well, absolutely. There's survivor's guilt you go through from feeling, well, why were you spared? Because guys I went down with in the wave, when I went down there, they didn't make it out. So it makes you look at your life like, wow, what was special? You know, why me? But then as far as health issues, with New York City Fire Department, they test your lung function every year. So I had my lung function always tested to 2001. But from 2002 on, my lung function is a lot less than it was before. So it's something I have to go to New York and get monitored and get treated constantly for.
Real quickly, and my producer's telling me we're out of time, but I do want to ask you this. If you could go back 25, 30 years ago, before you became a firefighter even, knowing everything you know now about what was going to happen, would that have changed your desire to become a paramedic or work in the fire service?
Oh, absolutely not. I would have done this again and again. Wouldn't have changed everything. I would have wanted to be there, especially be there for my guys and for the citizens of the city and America that day. I would not do anything other than want to be there.
And for that, I consider you a hero. Thank you very much for your service, for what you and others did on that day, and for your sacrifice. Thanks for being here with us.
Thank you.